There are 5 minutes at night that will decide the rest of your life. 5 minutes where you can either program your mind for greatness or silently rehearse the same worries that have chained you for years. If you close your eyes without direction, your subconscious will replay your debts, your failures, your regrets, and it will multiply them until another year is wasted. But if you use those 5 minutes with definiteness, you can plant riches, confidence, freedom, and opportunity so deep in your mind that they cannot be stolen. Imagine this. You fall asleep seeing yourself free of financial worry, living in a home you once only dreamed of, providing for your family with ease, and waking each day with purpose instead of dread. Within months, doors begin to open, new ideas, new allies, new streams of income. Your life bends toward the image you fed your mind. That is the power of this nightly ritual. But neglect it, and the opposite awaits you. More years in the same job you despise, more nights staring at bills, more mornings waking with a heavy heart. The man who does not guide his subconscious before sleep is like a captain who leaves the helm in the middle of a storm. His ship will drift, and drift always ends on the rocks. I will show you how to seize those 5 minutes, how to give your mind a vision so vivid that it obeys it without hesitation. In the moments ahead, you will learn how this ritual, repeated nightly, transforms ordinary men into masters of destiny. The mind does not rest when the body sleeps. The conscious self may withdraw, but the subconscious remains awake, always listening, always obeying, always creating. It works faithfully on whatever images were last impressed upon it. This is why the final thoughts before sleep are of infinite importance. They guide the unseen workshop of your destiny through the night. If you close your eyes filled with worry, your subconscious will take those worries as law and multiply them. If you replay debts, it will engrave poverty. If you dwell on failures, it will attract defeat. If you nurse resentment, it will strengthen bitterness. And when you awaken, your mind will be primed to continue in the same direction. This is how drifting men waste years. But if you deliberately choose your last thought, if you close your eyes with vision and gratitude, the subconscious will obey with equal loyalty. If you see riches, it will begin shaping conduct to match riches. If you feel victory, it will engrave victory. If you declare definiteness, it will direct every hidden power toward fulfilling that aim. Thomas Edison understood this law intuitively. When he faced a problem too difficult to solve, he would carry it to bed. He allowed the subconscious to labor while he slept. Many times he awoke with the answer clear, as though delivered by unseen hands. His inventions were not only born of waking effort, but of the silent work of his mind at night. Andrew Carnegie also practiced nightly reflection. He would rehearse his definite purposes quietly before retiring. He impressed upon his subconscious the image of empire, of steel, of riches. While he slept, his mind turned upon these aims until they became instinct. His fortune was not accident. It was the harvest of nightly definiteness engraved upon the mind. Affirm this with me. I give my subconscious a definite order before sleep. I choose riches, faith, and freedom. Speak it aloud before your eyes close. For the last sentence you utter becomes the order by which your subconscious works through the night. If you give it fear, it will obey with fear. If you give it faith, it will obey with faith. The drifting man leaves this law unused. He ends his day with idle talk, careless worry, or bitter complaint. He thinks them harmless, yet his subconscious does not judge. It obeys. And so, each night he programs failure into his life without knowing it. His days repeat his nights, and his years repeat his days, until his life is nothing but the echo of wasted thought. The decisive man commands his nights. He knows 5 minutes of vision are worth more than hours of drifting. He closes his eyes with intention, painting vivid pictures of his aim already achieved. He feels gratitude for victories not yet visible. He gives his subconscious a definite order and sleeps in peace. And when he awakens, he finds life bending to his design. Affirm again, I give my subconscious a definite order before sleep. I choose riches, faith, and freedom. Each repetition engraves obedience deeper. Each night of definiteness strengthens the law. After 30 nights, the subconscious will carry you forward with momentum unstoppable by critics, circumstances, or doubts. For what you feed it, it multiplies. This is why I say the last 5 minutes of the day control the next. The night is the battlefield where destiny is decided. If you surrender to fear, fear will rule your tomorrow. If you command with faith, faith will rule your tomorrow. The choice is always yours, and the cost is only 5 minutes. Use them wisely, and your future will be secured. The subconscious mind is not moved by logic or reason. It is moved by pictures and feelings. It accepts what it sees and feels as real, whether the evidence exists or not. This is the law of visualization. The images you feed your subconscious, repeated with emotion, become the blueprints by which it builds your destiny. When a man visualizes defeat, he engraves defeat. When he pictures poverty, he engraves poverty. When he sees himself small, unnoticed, or unlucky, the subconscious accepts these images as law and directs his conduct to fulfill them. He becomes the very picture he holds. His life shrinks to the size of his vision, and he calls it fate. But when a man visualizes victory, the opposite occurs. If he sees himself rich, confident, purposeful, and free, the subconscious accepts this as law. His voice grows firm, his step grows strong, his conduct bends toward boldness. He recognizes opportunities others overlook, he acts with faith instead of fear, and life itself bends to match the vision. Henry Ford lived by this law long before he named it. He carried in his mind the picture of an automobile for the common man. No factory existed. No market was certain. No proof was available. But he saw it clearly. He imagined millions riding in comfort at a price anyone could afford. That picture became his law. His subconscious bent him to fulfill it. Abraham Lincoln also lived by visualization. In the midst of defeat, he carried the image of a united nation. Others saw only division and collapse. He held fast to the vision of preservation. That image engraved itself upon his subconscious until it became his identity. He endured ridicule, loss, and loneliness, yet the picture within never dimmed. And because he saw it, he made it. The drifting man wastes this power. He replays fears in his mind until they become pictures. He imagines failure before it arrives, and so it arrives. He rehearses rejection until he expects it, and so he receives it. His life is a gallery of negative images, hung there by his own carelessness. He becomes slave to pictures of his own making. Affirm with me, I see myself victorious. I feel myself successful. I live my dream in advance. These words command your subconscious not with logic, but with images. As you speak, imagine yourself standing in the home you desire, walking in the business you built, holding the fortune you claimed. See it, feel it, live it until your subconscious bends to it. The subconscious does not wait for evidence. It obeys the command of imagination. This is why visualization is more powerful than argument. A single vivid picture carries more force than 100 facts. If you can see it clearly and feel it deeply, the subconscious believes it absolutely. And once believed, it begins moving every power of your being to make it real. Thomas Edison did not reason his way into invention. He saw it. He pictured light shining from a small filament. He imagined cities illuminated by power. He rehearsed it in his mind until the picture was more real than failure. That vision sustained him through thousands of attempts. Logic might have quit, but the picture compelled him until it existed. Andrew Carnegie did the same. He saw himself commanding an empire of steel long before the empire rose. He pictured mills, wealth, and influence. He visualized it with gratitude until it burned in him as certainty. That picture became law to his subconscious, and his conduct bent toward its fulfillment until reality itself yielded. Affirm again, I see myself victorious. I feel myself successful. I live my dream in advance. Say it with emotion. Paint the picture in your mind until it glows. Feel the gratitude of already possessing it. Each night, give your subconscious the vision, and each morning, it will drive you to act in harmony with it. Do not underestimate this law. Infinite intelligence responds to definiteness. When you visualize, you give the mind definiteness. You draw a blueprint, and the subconscious builds from it. Without a picture, it drifts. With a picture, it acts. That is why men without vision perish in mediocrity, while men with vision rise to mastery. Visualization is the architect of destiny. It is the silent designer of empires. Every fortune, every invention, every triumph you admire began first as a picture in a man's mind. Rockefeller saw mastery before oil bent to him. Schwab saw leadership before U.S. Steel crowned him. Lincoln saw preservation before the Union survived. They all lived in advance of evidence.
Many people have already clicked off, but since you've stayed with us this far, I want to give you something. We created a special 5-minute dream life visualization as a gift to strengthen this nightly ritual. You'll find it waiting for you along with other resources, free, at the very first link in the description.
Affirm once more. I see myself victorious. I feel myself successful. I live my dream in advance. Speak it until it becomes natural. Imagine until it feels certain. For once the subconscious accepts it, you no longer act as a man hoping. You act as a man destined. And the world treats you not as you were, but as you are becoming. This is the second step of your ritual, to visualize each night before sleep. Not as a wish, but as a command. Not in vague outlines, but in vivid detail. See the life you demand. Feel it with gratitude. Live it in advance. For visualization is the blueprint that infinite intelligence follows, and without a blueprint, no building rises. Men often deceive themselves by thinking length equals power. They say, if I meditate for an hour, perhaps the law will answer. If I visualize for many minutes, perhaps I will engrave the image more deeply. Yet the law is not measured by clock or calendar. The subconscious does not count time. It responds to intensity. 5 minutes of burning faith outweighs 5 hours of drifting thought. The mind is like wax. Impressions are carved by heat, not by the length of the touch. A single stroke of fire brands an image permanently, while hours of lukewarm contact leave no mark. So it is with your nightly ritual. If you pour emotion into it, 5 minutes is enough to engrave destiny. Without emotion, even endless repetition fades like dust. John D. Rockefeller knew this truth, whether he called it by name or not. As a young man, he walked with the calm thrill of mastery. He felt himself destined to command wealth long before he saw a dollar beyond wages. That feeling, intense, vivid, undeniable, engraved itself on his subconscious more powerfully than years of idle wishing. Emotion made his vision law. Thomas Edison also proved it. After countless failures, he did not sink into despair. Instead, he felt joy at each attempt, saying, I have discovered another way that will not work. That joy was not accident. It was emotion deliberately directed. It kept his subconscious burning with persistence. It engraved success upon his mind even while evidence mocked him. Affirm with me. I fill my vision with gratitude, faith, and certainty, and my subconscious obeys. Say it with feeling, not as empty words. Feel the gratitude of already holding your aim. Feel the faith of certainty. Feel the joy of victory. For it is feeling that impresses the subconscious, not cold recital. Each night, let emotion be the flame that brands your vision. The drifting man prays without emotion. He mumbles half-hearted wishes, imagines faint pictures, and wonders why nothing changes. His subconscious is unmoved, for he has given it no fire. He counts minutes and hours, but heaven counts only intensity. His long prayers are powerless because they are lifeless. He sleeps in fear and wakes in fear. The decisive man ignites his subconscious with emotion. He speaks with gratitude so real it stirs his spirit. He imagines victory so vividly he feels it in his chest. He fills his vision with certainty until sleep takes him. In 5 minutes, he engraves more than a drifter engraves in years. His subconscious receives the fire, and his life bends to it. Andrew Carnegie demanded this intensity of his men. He taught that definiteness without enthusiasm is useless. He wanted them not merely to state their aims, but to feel them. Enthusiasm is emotion, and emotion is the fuel that engraves belief. Without it, a chief aim is only words. With it, a chief aim is destiny. Affirm again, I fill my vision with gratitude, faith, and certainty, and my subconscious obeys. Repeat it until the words stir feeling. Do not be content until your heart quickens, until your spirit glows. For the subconscious is impressed not by syllables, but by vibration. Gratitude, faith, and certainty are the vibrations that command destiny. Infinite intelligence responds not to idle thought, but to burning desire. Desire is nothing more than emotion focused upon an aim. This is why men of passion succeed where cold intellect fails. The heart engraves what the head alone cannot. A few minutes of passion plant seeds that years of doubt cannot uproot. The devil knows this law, which is why he fills men with fear at night. Fear is emotion. It burns images of failure into the subconscious more quickly than hours of idle drifting. This is why you must deliberately replace fear with faith. 5 minutes of gratitude can undo 5 days of worry. 5 minutes of certainty can defeat 5 years of doubt. Edison, Ford, Carnegie, Rockefeller, Lincoln each proved this principle. They were men of emotion. They did not live coldly. They believed fiercely, desired passionately, spoke boldly. Their subconscious was branded by intensity. They lived their visions long before they saw them. Their feelings were the fire that engraved destiny. Affirm once more, I fill my vision with gratitude, faith, and certainty, and my subconscious obeys. This is your shield at night. Speak it, feel it, live it. Let those 5 minutes blaze with passion. Do not count seconds, count only intensity. For once the subconscious feels the fire, it accepts the law. And once accepted, life must obey. This is the 3rd step of your ritual, feelings over length. Do not boast of hours spent in thought. Boast of minutes filled with fire. For 5 minutes of gratitude and certainty can change the course of a life. 5 minutes of burning faith is enough to command riches, to awaken courage, to set destiny in motion. A law without method is wasted. A principle without practice is powerless. I have shown you why the last 5 minutes govern your tomorrow, why visualization engraves the subconscious, why emotion outweighs time. Now I will show you precisely how to perform the ritual that changes everything. If you obey, you will prove it within a month. If you neglect it, you will drift another year. Step 1. Write your definite chief aim clearly. Do not keep it vague in the clouds of imagination. Take it in hand and put it on paper. Write what you demand of life. Write it in the present tense as though already yours. Say, I am so happy and grateful that I earn. Or, I am so happy and grateful that I lead. Write it boldly. For the subconscious accepts definiteness, not shadows. Step 2. Each night, as you lie in bed, close your eyes and see yourself already in possession of it. Picture the house if you seek a house. Picture the business if you seek success. Picture yourself standing before men with confidence if you seek leadership. Make the picture vivid. The subconscious does not argue. It accepts the pictures you repeat with feeling. Step 3. Feel gratitude and happiness as though already attained. Do not say the words coldly. Feel the joy of arrival, the pride of attainment, the calm of freedom. Gratitude is the spirit that proves belief. If you cannot feel gratitude, you do not yet believe. And if you do not believe, the subconscious cannot obey. Gratitude is the seal upon your visualization. Step 4. Repeat the vision until sleep takes you. Drift into rest with the picture still in your mind. This is the secret. The last image before slumber is the seed planted in the soil of the subconscious. While you sleep, it grows, it multiplies, it sends roots deep. By morning, you awaken a little stronger, a little clearer, a little more certain. Night after night, the roots deepen until the vision is unshakable. Andrew Carnegie drilled this habit into his men. He demanded they rehearse victory until it became instinct. He knew that when the picture of success is engraved deeply enough, action follows without resistance. Decisions come swiftly. Courage arises naturally. Persistence becomes second nature. He built an empire on the backs of men who visualized victory nightly. Affirm with me, I sleep in victory. I wake in power. My subconscious serves me day and night. Say it tonight before closing your eyes. Let it burn in your mind. For these words are not hope. They are command. They direct your subconscious to labor for you while you rest. And when you rise, you will find strength waiting. Thomas Edison also used this method. When exhausted by failures, he would hold the vision of light in his mind until sleep overcame him. In the morning, ideas would come fresh, solutions clearer, persistence renewed. His inventions were born not only in the laboratory, but in the silence of the night, where his subconscious obeyed the pictures he impressed. Henry Ford did the same. He pictured the automobile rolling through every city, owned by ordinary men, long before it existed. He rehearsed it in thought, saw himself victorious, and let the picture carry him to sleep. That is why ridicule never conquered him. The vision was too real. His subconscious had already accepted it, and life bent to fulfill it. Affirm again, I sleep in victory. I wake in power. My subconscious serves me day and night. Each repetition strengthens the law. Each night engraves the vision deeper. Each morning carries more certainty. Soon the man who once doubted will find himself unable to doubt. The picture will be too strong, the faith too firm, the identity too changed. This ritual does not demand hours. It demands obedience. 5 minutes of clear vision, vivid feeling, and definite affirmation are enough. The drifting man will ignore it, calling it too simple. He will drift another year, feeding his subconscious with fear. The decisive man will obey it nightly, and within a month he will feel destiny stirring within him. I tell you plainly, begin tonight. Write your definite aim. Close your eyes. Picture it. Feel gratitude as though already attained. Repeat it until sleep takes you. Do not delay. Do not excuse. For every night you neglect, you sow fear. Every night you obey, you sow faith. The harvest is certain. The question is what seed you will plant. This is the 4th step of your breakthrough, performing the ritual. Not reading about it, not admiring it, but obeying it. For laws reward only obedience, and the man who obeys this law nightly will rise within 30 days, changed in mind, changed in spirit, changed in destiny. The moments before sleep are unlike any others in the day. The conscious mind, that busy gatekeeper of reason and doubt, begins to withdraw its guard. The will softens, the body yields, the thoughts drift. In these moments, the subconscious becomes wide open, fertile, waiting for whatever seed is placed within it. This is why I call it the golden hour, the window in which destiny is decided. During the day, your conscious mind argues. It resists suggestions. It insists on logic, on evidence, on proof. But at night, as the conscious mind grows tired, the subconscious receives without resistance. It accepts pictures, words, and feelings more readily than at any other time. That is why 5 minutes at night can do more than hours of effort during the day. Picture a farmer with fertile soil. If he plants weeds, weeds grow. If he plants wheat, wheat grows. The soil does not argue. It accepts whatever is sown. So it is with your subconscious at night. If you plant fear, it multiplies fear. If you plant gratitude, it multiplies gratitude. If you plant definiteness, it multiplies definiteness. What you give it before sleep becomes the harvest of your tomorrow. Thomas Edison knew this well. He would deliberately hold a problem in his mind before bed. He gave his subconscious a definite order, and often he awoke with the answer clear, the solution in hand. He trusted the night to work for him, knowing the subconscious would labor faithfully if given direction. Many of his breakthroughs were the fruit of this golden hour. Abraham Lincoln also used the night as his silent ally. He would rehearse speeches in his mind before sleep, not yet written, but fully alive within him. By morning, the words flowed with power, as though delivered by infinite intelligence itself. The night engraved his aims into the depths of his subconscious, and the subconscious delivered them back perfected. Affirm this with me. I plant my aim in the golden hour, and it grows while I rest. Feel the power of those words. For the truth is this: your nights are never idle. They are always planting, always growing. The only question is what seed you will sow. Will it be fear, or will it be faith? Will it be complaint, or will it be gratitude? The drifting man wastes the golden hour. He goes to bed rehearsing debts, failures, criticisms. He speaks of weakness, of defeat, of hopelessness. He does not know that his subconscious is listening. He imagines nightmares before he sleeps, and then wonders why his days are filled with the very fears he rehearsed. He drifts, not by accident, but by nightly command. The decisive man seizes the golden hour. He closes his eyes with intention. He pictures victory, riches, freedom. He speaks gratitude as though already attained. He repeats his definite aim with emotion until sleep takes him. He gives the subconscious a command, and the subconscious obeys. By morning he rises renewed, for the night has labored in his favor. John D. Rockefeller sowed his empire in such soil. His habits of thought were disciplined, not only in the day, but in the night. He refused to surrender to idle drifting. He held mastery in his mind until it became identity. His subconscious, impressed night after night, bent every faculty, every opportunity, every ally to his cause. His fortune was the harvest of his nightly planting. Charles Schwab also knew the value of nightly rehearsal. Before great speeches or bold decisions, he would see himself already triumphant. He rehearsed confidence until it became nature. He entered each day not as a man untested, but as one who had already lived the victory in his imagination the night before. This is the power of the golden hour. Affirm again, I plant my aim in the golden hour, and it grows while I rest. Write it on your wall. Speak it before you sleep. Let it become your creed. For if you treat the night as idle, your life will drift. But if you treat the night as golden, your life will rise. The subconscious is always working. The question is whether it works against you or for you. Infinite intelligence designed this law. The mind cannot be empty. It must feed on something. If you do not guide it, it feeds on fear. If you direct it, it feeds on faith. This is why I say the night is the battlefield. The man who neglects it is defeated before dawn. The man who commands it wakes already victorious. Edison, Carnegie, Ford, Lincoln, Rockefeller all seized the golden hour. They did not leave their nights to chance. They gave definite orders. They planted clear pictures. They filled their subconscious with faith and gratitude. And in return, their lives delivered inventions, fortunes, leadership, and influence. They mastered the golden hour, and the golden hour delivered mastery. Affirm once more, I plant my aim in the golden hour, and it grows while I rest. Say it with conviction. Feel the truth of it. Begin tonight. For the golden hour is always waiting. The soil of the subconscious is always fertile. The seed you plant tonight will be the fruit you harvest tomorrow. Choose wisely, for your destiny depends upon it. This is the 5th step of your ritual, to seize the golden hour. 5 minutes at night, planted with definiteness, gratitude, and faith, will do more than 50 hours of wandering thought. Treat the night as holy, as powerful, as decisive, for it is in those minutes before sleep that you hand your destiny to the subconscious, and it will multiply whatever you give it. Most men sabotage themselves not in the day, but in the night. By day they speak of success, they nod to faith, they even imagine riches. But by night, when their heads touch the pillow, they betray themselves. They rehearse debts. They replay failures. They nurse regrets. And the subconscious, faithful servant that it is, accepts these images as orders to be carried out tomorrow. The night is meant to be a palace of vision, yet most turn it into a prison of worry. They close their eyes and see the creditor's face, the critic's laugh, the past mistake. They think of what they lost, what they fear, what they lack, and their subconscious multiplies these pictures until they awaken heavier than before. They are chained not by life, but by their own nightly thoughts. You cannot drift through the night and expect victory in the morning. What you sleep with, you wake with. What you repeat before bed, you reap the next day. If you lie down in fear, fear will greet you at dawn. If you lie down in faith, faith will rise with you. This is the unchanging law of the subconscious, and men perish because they ignore it. Consider R.U. Darby, who stopped digging 3 feet from gold. His mind rehearsed failure more than persistence. Each night he thought of difficulty, of doubt, of defeat. His subconscious obeyed, draining his courage. He quit, and fortune passed to another. Only later, when he learned to rehearse persistence in insurance, did he break the chain. Then he visualized victory until no became fuel, and riches followed. Henry Ford was ridiculed without mercy. Engineers called him a fool. Investors abandoned him. Newspapers mocked him. But he refused to rehearse their ridicule at night. He did not lie awake replaying their laughter. Instead, he pictured the automobile rolling through every street. He slept with victory in his mind, and his subconscious carried him to it. That is why he triumphed while others quit. Affirm with me, I refuse to sleep with fear. I choose to sleep with faith. Speak it boldly each night. Let your subconscious hear it as your final command. For the subconscious is most obedient in the moments before sleep. Give it fear, and it will multiply fear. Give it faith, and it will multiply faith. Choose carefully which seed you allow into the soil. The drifting man lets fear enter unchallenged. He says, I cannot stop worrying. I cannot stop thinking of what went wrong. He believes himself helpless. Yet this helplessness is self-chosen. He refuses to guard the gate of his own mind. He allows fear to rule the night, and then wonders why life rules him with chains by day. The decisive man takes command. He says, I will not close my eyes in fear. I will choose my last thought. He pictures his definite aim, feels gratitude for its attainment, and falls asleep with vision, not worry. His subconscious obeys his faith, not his fear. He awakens lighter, stronger, more certain. Night by night, he breaks the chains that once held him. Rockefeller faced suspicion, hatred, and endless criticism. But he did not surrender to it. If he had rehearsed it nightly, he would have shrunk. Instead, he rehearsed mastery. He saw himself as calm, efficient, destined. His subconscious accepted this identity, and his empire grew. Critics shouted, but his inner rehearsal drowned them out. That is why he commanded where others collapsed. Abraham Lincoln endured defeat after defeat. He lost elections. He lost business. He lost friends. If he had slept each night with despair, he would have abandoned destiny. But he rehearsed his greater aim, the preservation of the Union. He closed his eyes with faith in a cause larger than himself. His subconscious carried him through rejection after rejection until history crowned him. Affirm again, I refuse to sleep with fear. I choose to sleep with faith. Write it by your bed. Speak it until it becomes instinct. Do not allow yourself to drift into sleep without declaring it. For each night is a fork in the road, fear or faith, defeat or destiny. The man who refuses fear at night is the man who conquers fear by day. You must learn to deliberately replace negative images. When debts rise before your eyes, replace them with the picture of paid bills and abundance. When critics' laughter echoes, replace it with the sound of applause. When regret replays, replace it with gratitude for the lessons that made you stronger. You are the director of your inner stage. Do not let fear choose the actors. Infinite intelligence does not punish men with fear. Men punish themselves by rehearsing fear until it becomes law. You are not enslaved by circumstances. You are enslaved by the pictures you repeat. But the chains can be broken in a single night by refusing to rehearse fear. Choose to picture victory. Choose to feel gratitude. Choose to fall asleep with faith. Edison did this with persistence. After 10,000 failures, he did not lie in despair. He did not rehearse the mockery of critics. He rehearsed the image of light, the feeling of triumph. He let that picture carry him into sleep, and by morning he rose with fresh courage. His inventions were not only born of work, but of nightly faith. Affirm once more, I refuse to sleep with fear. I choose to sleep with faith. This must become your nightly law. Each time fear whispers, answer with faith. Each time doubt presses, replace it with vision. Do this nightly, and within 30 days the chains will fall. Your subconscious will be cleansed of fear and filled with faith. This is the 6th step of your ritual, breaking the chains of negative night thoughts. If you fail here, all else is wasted. If you succeed here, all else is assured. Guard your nights as a soldier guards the gates of a fortress, for the enemy is always fear, and the battle is always won or lost before you sleep. A single night of vision is powerful, but the true miracle is not in one night. It is in repetition. The subconscious is not changed by accident. It is reshaped by persistent command. Each night's visualization adds to the last, carving a deeper groove, building a stronger law until the picture becomes identity. This is the compounding power of repetition. Think of water cutting through stone. One drop seems weak, but repeated endlessly, the drops carve canyons. So it is with your nightly ritual. Each night may seem small, but repeated, it cuts through doubt, it engraves faith, it builds certainty. In 30 nights, the groove is deep. In 90, it is unshakable. In a lifetime, it becomes destiny itself. Charles Schwab rehearsed boldness until it was natural. He repeated confidence in thought and speech until his subconscious accepted it. When the moment came to address Carnegie and J.P. Morgan, he did not tremble, for boldness was already his nature. His words were not performance, they were identity. Repetition had transformed him into the man destiny required. John D. Rockefeller did the same. Night after night, he persisted in definiteness. He pictured order, efficiency, and mastery until they became instinct. His rivals drifted in doubt, but he was grounded in certainty. His subconscious, molded by repetition, carried him into habits and decisions that built an empire. Fortune was not sudden. It was compounded by nightly law. Affirm with me, each night I repeat victory. Each night I deepen faith. Each night I move closer to riches. Say it with resolve, for this is how repetition works. Each night builds upon the last. Each command strengthens the previous one. And soon the mind cannot resist. It acts as though victory were certain because repetition has made it so. The drifting man tires quickly. He repeats for a few nights, then stops. He says, I do not see results. He fails to understand that repetition is compounding unseen. Just as seeds grow beneath the soil before the harvest appears, so too does faith grow beneath the surface before success is visible. He abandons the law just before it would bear fruit. The decisive man persists. He repeats even when results are unseen. He knows each night is engraving, each night is compounding. He trusts the law as a farmer trusts the soil. He knows that if he sows long enough, the harvest is certain. And one morning he awakens to find his subconscious so transformed that faith is natural and fear is foreign. Andrew Carnegie demanded this of his associates. He taught them to repeat definiteness daily and nightly. He knew the mind resists at first, but repetition breaks resistance. He told them, speak it until you believe it until you live it until you have it. This was not poetry, it was law. And those who obeyed rose with him. Affirm again. Each night I repeat victory. Each night I deepen faith. Each night I move closer to riches. Let this become your creed. For repetition is not wasted, it is compounded. Each declaration stacks upon the last until the weight is irresistible. And once the subconscious is fully impressed, nothing can erase it. Thomas Edison persisted in repetition beyond all reason. 10,000 failures did not silence him because each night he repeated success. He pictured light until it was more real than darkness. That vision compounded within him night after night until his subconscious would not allow him to quit. At last, the world bowed to the picture he had repeated. Infinite intelligence respects persistence. Faith spoken once is a whisper. Faith spoken nightly becomes a roar. The subconscious does not resist forever. It yields to the force of repetition. That is why I say repetition is the mother of faith, the builder of certainty, the destroyer of fear. Each night you repeat is another blow against doubt. Affirm once more. Each night I repeat victory. Each night I deepen faith. Each night I move closer to riches. Repeat it not as empty words, but as law. Feel each night adding strength. See each night compounding faith. Know that within 30 days the groove will be carved, and within 90 your subconscious will act without hesitation. This is the 7th step of your ritual, to persist in repetition. Do not grow weary. Do not quit. Know that each night's vision is building, multiplying, compounding. The man who repeats victory nightly becomes victory. The man who repeats faith nightly becomes faith. The man who repeats riches nightly becomes riches. This is the unbreakable law of repetition. There comes a moment when repetition has done its work. The picture you once held as imagination has become identity. The dream you once rehearsed at night has become the standard of your days. You no longer struggle to believe. You live as though belief were unnecessary, for certainty has become your nature. This is the final purpose of the ritual, to live the dream you visualize. At first, the images feel distant, like pictures painted on a wall. You see yourself successful, but you know you're still not there. Yet as you repeat them night after night, the distance closes. The subconscious cannot distinguish between what is imagined with intensity and what is real. Once it accepts the vision, it compels you to act in harmony with it. Thomas Edison is proof. He imagined the light thousands of times before it existed. He pictured cities glowing at night. He saw lamps burning steadily. Those pictures were not idle. They became his identity. He lived as the man who had already invented light. And because he lived it, his actions aligned. His persistence hardened, and the world eventually received what he had visualized. Henry Ford also lived his vision long before it was visible. He carried himself as the man who would give the automobile to the masses. He did not doubt because he no longer saw himself as an experimenter. He saw himself as a conqueror of transportation. That picture lived within him until it was flesh in factories and wheels on roads. He lived the dream before the world saw it. Affirm with me, I live today the dream I saw last night. I am already the man I envisioned. Speak it as law. Feel it as truth. Walk as though your vision were real, for the subconscious already believes it. And once you believe it within, the world outside must bend to confirm it. Such is the law of faith and definiteness. The drifting man never reaches this stage. He rehearses weakly, quits quickly, doubts persistently. His subconscious never accepts the vision. He continues to live by fear, by chance, by drifting. His nights are wasted, his days are wasted, his life is wasted. He looks back with regret, whispering, "If only." He never lived the dream because he never believed it. But the decisive man persists. He repeats until belief hardens. He visualizes until identity shifts. One day he notices he speaks differently, he acts differently, he decides differently. The world sees the change before he does. Opportunities open, allies gather, critics fall silent. He has become the man of his vision, and the world cannot deny him. Abraham Lincoln is such a man. Long before he preserved the Union, he lived as though he were chosen for the task. Defeat after defeat could not erase the picture. He walked with the quiet dignity of destiny. When the time came, he acted not as a man uncertain, but as one fulfilling the role he had already lived in his mind. His subconscious had prepared him for greatness. Andrew Carnegie also embodied this law. He saw himself as a titan of steel while still a poor boy. He lived with the certainty of riches. He carried himself with purpose, spoke with confidence, demanded definiteness. The vision was real to him long before it was real to others, and because he lived the dream became flesh. Affirm again, I live today the dream I saw last night. I am already the man I envisioned. Let this be the climax of your ritual. The nightly pictures are no longer hopes, they are blueprints. Each day, act as though the blueprint were already complete. Let your words, your posture, your decisions reveal the man you visualized, for the subconscious has already accepted it. Infinite intelligence does not reward those who drift between two identities. You cannot visualize victory at night and live in fear by day. The subconscious will not tolerate contradiction. If the picture is real within, it must be lived without. This is why men of faith seem unstoppable. They act in harmony with their vision until life has no choice but to obey. Rockefeller walked with such harmony, he saw himself masterful and efficient, and he lived it daily. His rivals wondered at his composure, his certainty, his calm. But it was no mystery. He was living the vision he had repeated nightly. His subconscious directed his conduct, and his conduct created results. He lived as the man of his dream until the world crowned him. Charles Schwab, too, demonstrated this law. He rehearsed boldness until he lived boldly. When the stage came, he spoke as though destiny had prepared him. His words commanded attention because his subconscious had already made him a leader. The world did not create his leadership. It only confirmed what he already lived. Affirm once more, I live today the dream I saw last night. I am already the man I envisioned. Speak it until you feel yourself walking differently, speaking differently, deciding differently. For each repetition strengthens identity. And once identity is set, results follow. You cannot remain small while living as great. The world will yield to the man who refuses to contradict his vision. This is the 8th and final step of your ritual, to live the dream you visualize. Begin tonight. Close your eyes with definiteness. Picture your aim. Feel gratitude as though attained. Drift into sleep with victory. Repeat it nightly, and then by day, live as though the picture were already real. Speak boldly. Act decisively. Carry yourself as though destiny were finished. For 1 month of this practice will divide your life into 2 halves, before you lived your vision and after. Before you drifted, after you directed, before you feared, after you believed, before you rehearsed weakness, after you engraved strength. This ritual is no small thing. It is the dividing line of destiny.